It's time for the Northwoods Cooking Show. Starring Uncle Roy and Miss Callie, the troublemaking dog.
Okay, now while Callie's biscuits are baking in the oven, they're going to be done pretty soon, or time for turning anyway. We're going to continue on with our next recipe, and this is going to be a Bratwurst Stew. Woohoo! Something different there, hey? And this is going to be great for these cold winter nights. And right now, as I'm filming, we're like 40 degrees here in December. Can you stand it? It's awfully warm. It's like, where'd the cold weather go? Where's the snow? It's all melting. Oh no, we gotta have snow for Christmas. After that, then it can melt. That's as far as I'm concerned. After New Year's Eve, let it get back to the 40s. That's fine with me. I hate those cold Januaries and Februaries. Oh, those were so cold growing up as kids out in Wisconsin. Oh my God, they were just freezing out there. Of course, then when we were kids, we had snow again up to the windowsills. And then we had that below zero stuff, oh, like 40, 50 below for like a month or 2 months straight. And now we get it for like 2 weeks. So it's no big deal now, but still. Oh, when we were kids, it was just bitterly cold out there in that lake and that wind. It was terrible. It was awful. But, so, yeah, after New Year's Eve, the snow can melt as far as I'm concerned. It can warm up again then. But anyway, we're going to do this Bratwurst stew, and this is a real hearty stew. And for this, we're going to be needing approximately 4 cups of shredded cabbage, which is about 1 small head. You can go, you know, a little more, a little less. You know, everything that I give you here is, you can always change the recipes to your own preference. You know, whatever works out good. If you have like medium-sized head and you got a little bit left over, well, throw it in. What are you going to do with it? You know, raw cabbage. If you only have a little bit left, you can't do much. But so you want to try to get a medium head, and this is a little on the smaller side, but this would be just perfect. Now this stew, all this can go into a crock pot, and I'm going to be putting it in my Dutch oven because I want to cook it off for today because I'm hungry and I want to eat. But, oh, those are Callie's treats. Gotta do Callie's treats. Oh, oh. Oh, they come along just fine. Ooh, these smell good, Callie. I might want one. Yeah. And we're going to just take and just turn these over, and we'll put these back into the oven for another 10 minutes. These are nice and golden brown. They almost look like little appetizers. There's nothing wrong with a person eating them. I mean, it is the natural ingredients. It's just easy. It's just cheese, garlic, and flour and egg. There's nothing in there that a human can't eat. Okay, we'll put these back in for 10 more minutes. Don't want to burn Callie's treats. Nope. Okay, now we're going to take and cut up this cabbage. So remember now to take out that core of the cabbage. We don't need that. And that's just a diagonal cut on both sides of the core. Now just pop right out. And you can throw that away. You don't want to use that in your soup stocks because cabbage is going to give it a more sour taste. It's bitter. So you don't want to save that for soup stocks at all. But the other vegetables like carrot peels and potato peels, celery ends, those you can save for a soup stock if you want. Then we'll just take and slice this up into very thin slices here. Like about 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. Now you can cut this in half and then do the slices again if you want shorter pieces. Because remember, this is going to go in your stew, and everything that's the way you cut it is going to end up on your spoon. So if you have these longer strands, you know, it's going to be hanging over the spoon. It's going to be like sauerkraut. It's not going to be all together in your tablespoon. So I'm just going with another half cut right down the center. And that'll just make it easier for bite-sized pieces to fit into your spoon then. Oh, this cabbage reminds me when we were kids, we used to make our own sauerkraut. Oh, we made that every year. Dad would go out. He was quite the thief, put it that way. He was providing for his family though, but he used to go out and, he was an outlaw, and he used to go and hack cabbage from the local farmer producers. Anyway, he used to come home with gunny sacks full of cabbage. We didn't question where he got them. We kind of figured out where they came from. But we used to make our own sauerkraut. I remember my sister and we used to slice this up like this, but we had the old machine. The slicer, kind of like a mandolin, but a giant size one. You put that over your crock pot. It was 25, 50-gallon crock pot. Slide the thing over and slice up your cabbage. Well, my little sister, I was like about, I don't know, 8 years old, so she was about 5. And when you make this, you put layers of raw cabbage and layers of salt. And then you stomp it with a baseball bat or a mallet. Well, my sister, we used to throw her right in there and barefoot, and she used to stomp around all the time to get the cabbage done with salt. I used to do it too for only 1 year. Then I was getting too big for the crock. That was a short, fat kid. I was really fat as a kid. I was about as big as a crock. Anyways, then we put this in here, so we have just our cabbage. That's all done. And then next we're going to put in our smoked bratwurst. And it's about a pound package. Now, you want to make sure that these bratwursts are pre-cooked. You don't want the raw ones in there. You want them smoked so that they're pre-cooked. And you can use any flavor you want to, that don't matter. But the idea is that you want them cooked, because you don't want the raw bratwurst in there into the soup mixture, into the stew. And these brats that I happened to buy were on sale, of course, but they were the beer brats, which gives it a wonderful flavor. Oh, I just love bratwurst soaked in beer. Mom used to do that all the time too when we were kids. Take a bratwurst, poke with a fork, and then stick it in a bowl with beer until they're covered with beer. And just let them sit in the refrigerator overnight. And then the next day we put them on the grill. Oh my God, those are so good. Oh, I haven't had one like that in a long time. But these give a beer flavor, but they're not like the beer flavor we used to. I mean, when you salt them in there, you can taste the beer. Because we always use the Line of Cookles beer from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. That's the best beer. Then, on top of this, then next we need 1.5 cups of red potatoes. And these here we're just going to take and cut into big chunks. Well, not too big of chunks. Because you want to, remember, you want to get everything onto your tablespoon. So I'm going to quarter them and then cut them in half and then quarter each half. So that's like about 1.5 pounds. That's okay. Rotten one, don't want to throw that in. And let's put these in there. Okay, that's the potatoes. Then we need 1 medium onion. And with the onion, we can cut this into wedges. But you want a chunk of onion too, so if you happen to catch it in your soup, in your spoon, you're going to get some onion in there rather than just all minced and diced up. Because then as that cooks, that's going to disintegrate on you. It's all in 2 tiny pieces. That in there. Now remember too that when doing this in your crock pot, to always make sure you spray that the crock pot first, so everything doesn't stick to it. It's hard to, you gotta clean that up too, and all that stuff sticks to it, and it's hard to get out of it. Then, on top of all this, we're going to put in 2 cans of chicken broth. Now, if you have some chicken stock left over, cooking off a chicken, that'd be better. That flavor is the best ever rather than using canned. But if you don't, you can just use it to can, or you can put in an equivalent of 2 cans of water and then put in your chicken base and put in as much or as little as you want. Just be careful that when you put in your base, remember that's pure salt. So you don't want to get carried away with it and put in too much because you can't take it out once you put it in. So I would probably go like about a teaspoon of base to 1 can of water. Cycles. And on top of this, we need a tablespoon of mustard. And you want to use a brown mustard or hot and spicy mustard because it's this is a German dish. You don't want to use the yellow mustard. So you want to give it a nice German flavor to it. And we need a tablespoon of the cider vinegar. Ooh, Callie, this is good. It's a really good German dish. We should have done this one for Oktoberfest. Did you happen to catch Oktoberfest? Oh, it's Callie was dressed as a wiener. Oh, she was so cute. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna put her in costume. Oh, there go our biscuits. Look at Callie. Oh. And let's see, I did a tablespoon of vinegar, and then we need salt and pepper, and about a 1/4 teaspoon of each. And of course, you all know I do the kosher salt. It's just because it's less sodium, and it's much healthier for you. And then we need a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper also. And to make it even more German, we need about an 1/8 teaspoon of celery seed, which is a dash. If you got big fingers, big old pinch, that works just fine. And that's all there is to it. And now we're going to take and put this on the stove and let this come to a boil, and then we'll let it simmer. And we'll let that simmer until the potatoes are done, which should probably take about 45 minutes. Now in the crock pot, you can plug that in and put it on low, and it'll take 10 to 12 hours to cook. And if you put it on high, it'll take about 5 to 6 hours to cook. So just do your timing and your math this way and that way to figure out how you want it done. Like I said, the timing wise, it depends on, if you're going to work and everything else. If you want dinner when you come back home, put it on the low setting so it takes longer to cook. And if you're in a hurry, I would put it on the 5 to 6 hours. Now I'm even more in a hurry, so I'm going to cook this off now, and it should probably be done in like about 45 minutes to an hour until those potatoes are nice and tender. And then we'll get back and put our meal into shape. Okay, now this is our Bratwurst Stew. As you can see, there's lots of wonderful vegetables and potatoes in here. You can see the potatoes and the cabbage and onions and the bratwurst in there. Boy, this is really good too. Mmm.